David Thomas Bingle.
Thank you, Cllr. I would like to fully support this motion tonight on behalf of the technical group and commend Deputies Murphy, Donnelly and Shortall for putting forward the motion. I think it's very timely, and I think it's something that should be given serious consideration and supported by all members of the House here. I think it was really brought home to us last night when we watched the RTE Investigates programme on television at 9:30 last night, which featured shocking images, I think, for many people, because while we all have heard stories about things that go on, and may have had some submissions and that there, I know for myself and for very many people in Donegal, it was actually shocking to see it actually taking place on camera and to see it actually being filmed. And I think that was something that really brought home the message to people right across the country that there is still practices going on there that need to be weeded out and need to be ended. And I know that a number of councillors in Donegal have called for that Councillor John O'Donnell would resign from Donegal County Council, and I would like to support those calls as well and think that he should resign in order to reinstate the good name of the council and put that in place, because I think that's vitally important at this stage that would happen. Also, Cllr, and this Oireachtas here, I'm chairperson of the Committee on Members' Interests. And it is part of the overall architecture, I suppose, of dealing with ethics in public office. The committee was established under the Ethics in Public Office Act in 1995. And as chairperson and members of the committee, we have the role in terms of investigating or looking at how members actually comply with those Ethics Act and with the guidelines laid down within the Act. The committee's main role is to produce the guidelines every year to advise members on how to fill in their declarations of interests and when they're making the returns in January of each year. And I suppose the programme last night showed as well how some members still don't fully understand what's required of them in terms of the declaration of interests. But I think, in looking at this motion tonight, I think I would like to see that the agency talked about in the motion would be established, and I would like to see the Ethics or the Members' Interest Committee of Cllr and of Shannon actually being subsumed into that new body rather than continuing in existence, because I think really the committee is totally ineffective. There's a number of problems with how the committee works, and one of the main issues is that the role of the committee itself isn't clear and what we can actually do and what we actually should be doing. And maybe that's not by accident, maybe that's by design, because we tick the boxes in terms of having the committees in place and having the legislation, but we don't actually do anything in terms of implementing it, and that's particularly difficult. One of the other issues is that the committee has the power to actually initiate investigations from its own jurisdiction to bring up investigations. We don't have to rely on members of the public, but it's not clear how the committee can actually do that, and whether the committee has actually the ability to carry out any preliminary investigations. If we do decide to investigate a matter, how can we actually carry out a preliminary investigation to see if there is enough evidence then to go into maybe a full investigative mode at a later stage. So that's a difficulty. And also then the standard of evidence to be able to actually sustain a complaint is very difficult to ascertain as well, and it's very difficult to get that from. And also then the Standards in Public Office Act says that members can be found guilty of what they call a specified act, which is extremely difficult to actually define what it is. And the only definition that we can come up with, or has been able to come up with, is to put actually a financial value on what a specified act is. And the guideline is that if it's not of a value of more than €12,000, well then it's not a specified act. And it's extremely difficult to actually define that and come up with it. So I think that while we have what appears to be the architecture of bodies to actually investigate and to carry out investigations, we actually don't have anything in practice that can work effectively. And I think that's also been seen from the Standards in Public Office, who've been trying for 10 years to have their powers improved and their investigative role improved, and yet that falls on deaf ears right across to every government. Not only this one, but this one set itself out that it said that it was going to actually deal with these issues, and it hasn't. So I think we should see those committees dissolve, and we should see this anti-corruption agency and created that the motion calls for. And I think it would be very important, and a very important message, if the government supported this motion tomorrow night, particularly that it's UN International Anti-Corruption Day on the 9th of December, so it would be a fitting mark for the government. Thank you.